So, we're back to a normal schedule. Well, as normal as it gets around here. We were focused on Vampire Krillin for October, but then I got sick around Halloween, so that kinda threw things off. But now we're back for the first time in a while to this what if concerning Vegeta's younger brother Tarble. Things had proceeded largely the same at the tournament, with the addition of Tarble's daughter Kyo, though Shin had decided to be a little more transparent with the group about what was happening. And as a result, Android 18 had decided to keep an eye on the kids in order to prevent them from rushing off into danger trying to fight Boo. The three of them put together weren't strong enough to get past her, so this time they're stuck at the tournament. Back at Bobbity's ship, Deborah had chosen to retreat from his fight with Gohan, and Bobbity had gotten the idea to try and control Vegeta, using his anger towards his brother as means to latch onto his mind. He considered trying to control Piccolo as well, but decided Vegeta was the better candidate. Shin realized what was happening almost immediately, and would try to talk Vegeta down, but it didn't work. It was close to working, but Bobbity still manages to take control of Vegeta, boosting his strength and turning him against the group, or more specifically Tarble. Before a fight could break out, Bobbity would transport them back to the tournament. "You guys need to stop Bobbity and Deborah. I'll take care of Vegeta." He knew that Vegeta was after him, and at the very least he could keep him busy. So he'd immediately turn the opposite direction and take off, prompting Vegeta to chase after him. This way no one gets hurt in the crossfire. Pre-boost, Vegeta and Tarble were more or less even, so Tarble knew he was at a disadvantage, but he could give him a fight for a little while, even if he wouldn't win. Gohan was just about to take off after him to help, but Goku would speak up. "If we stop Bobbity, Vegeta will go back to normal. Tarble's strong enough to hold out until then." When he was far enough from the island that he felt comfortable stopping, Tarble would finally turn to face Vegeta, creating an energy barrier just in time to block a knee strike from his brother. By now they were a fair distance from the tournament, and they were fighting above the ocean. "If we can just settle down and talk about that," Tarble was cut off as Vegeta shattered his barrier with his fist before punching him in the face. Tarble would catch Vegeta's next attack, straining to block an elbow from him. "Come on, Vegeta, are you really gonna let that little freak poison your mind?" While in the original, Vegeta let himself be controlled, here things are a bit different. Bobbity didn't have complete control over him, but he'd amplified his frustrations with his brother into a white-hot fury. Tarble could tell he wasn't himself. He struck Vegeta in the stomach with his knee before firing a ki blast point-blank, sending him back a ways. But this reprieve was short-lived. Vegeta was back on him in an instant, firing a volley of energy blast towards the second prince. "We don't have time for this. You're really gonna risk your family for a grudge match?" The smoke cleared, revealing Tarble mostly uninjured, having blocked most of the attacks. "Don't act so above this. You hate me. I know you do, and now you have an excuse to fight me with everything you have." "You're wrong. I don't hate you." Before Tarble could continue, Vegeta hit him in the face again. Clearly he didn't want to hear it. Tarble was pretty sure he'd broken his nose. "Shut up!" Vegeta clasped his hands around his brother's throat, beginning to strangle Tarble. "Don't lie to me. You obviously want to beat me senseless, so do it. We're way beyond the point of making up." Around the same time, the others had arrived at Bobbity's ship. The machine had already reached full power, and despite Gohan's efforts to destroy the ball, Majin Buu was still revived. Tarble felt himself weakening, but just about managed to raise his hand, firing a ki blast point-blank at Vegeta's face. Vegeta flinched backward, holding his eye where the attack had hit. "Vegeta, I'm sorry, are you okay?" Vegeta didn't seem to care that Tarble was concerned for him and grabbed him by the collar, preparing to punch him again. But he froze, as both brothers sensed an enormous spike of energy as Buu was revived. "Come on, you sense that, right? Do we really have time to be fighting like this?" Vegeta paused, looking off in the direction of the energy, before dropping Tarble. "You head back to the tournament. Make sure everyone there is safe. Then, come help me. But you need my help. Please, it would mean a lot to me. If I can't stop Boo, keep them safe." With some hesitation, Tarble nodded, setting off for the World Tournament while Vegeta went to confront Boo. Speaking of Boo, Gohan and Piccolo didn't seem too intimidated by him, and Goku even seemed to like the guy. But Shin knew better. His childlike demeanor and goofy appearance belie his dangerous and chaotic nature. Boo looked around for a moment at all the people around him, just happy to be the center of attention. "Boo! Destroy them all!" Bobbity would order. There was no way Deborah could take all four of these guys, so we just had to hope Boo could. Boo would stare at Bobbity for a moment, before doing as he asked, flying forward at shocking speed and kicking Gohan, sending him into a nearby cliff face. Goku snapped to his son's defense, but before he could land a hit on Boo, he felt something hit him. He looked down, and to his shock, he saw himself beginning to turn to stone. With Boo being there taking their attention, he'd forgotten all about Deborah. They weren't necessary for collecting energy anymore, so he just wanted to get rid of them. "Goku!" Piccolo jumped to evade the spit from Deborah. "There's nothing we can do for him now. The only way to change him back is to slay Deborah." Shin evaded some spit from the Demon King. Gohan flew back towards the fight, landing a kick on Buu that knocked him down but didn't do any real damage. I'll keep Majin Buu busy, but you two are gonna have to face Deborah. Gohan barely evaded a blast from Buu. You make it sound like he's the easy one to fight. Piccolo grimaced as he and Shin prepared to face Deborah. Back at the tournament, Tarble, Yamcha, and 18 had decided to evacuate everyone to the lookout, though it was a little difficult since 18 had to be present to make sure Trunks, Goten, and Kyo didn't try to sneak off. It was simply too dangerous for them. Hopefully it would take a while for Buu and Bobbity to find this place. Once everyone was accounted for, Bulma would suggest finding the Dragon Balls to bring back Kibito, so Tarble would head to Capsule Corp to find the Dragon Radar. While this was going on, Gohan was struggling to fend off Buu, and frankly, Shin and Piccolo weren't doing much better against Deborah. The king of the demon realm tried to spit on Piccolo, who evaded it. The spit landed on Buu's hand. Buu stared at his hand for a moment, before simply tearing it off and growing another one. Buu glared at Deborah, seemingly not understanding or not caring that it was an accident. He fired a ball of energy towards the Demon King, blasting him away but not quite killing him. Bobbity wasn't too worried about this. These three weren't going to beat Buu, so what did he need Deborah for? Piccolo caught Buu in the back with the special beam cannon, ripping a hole straight through his chest. But Buu recovered almost instantly, flying over to Piccolo and simply hitting him over the head, knocking him to the ground. Buu sends Gohan flying with the Innocence Cannon before turning on the Supreme Kai. Shin does about as well he does in the original, but before Buu can finish him off, he's impaled by a spear from Deborah, understandably enraged over being attacked. Deborah tries to fight Buu for a while, but ultimately winds up getting himself eaten. So Goku and Krillin turn back to normal. Goku is about to risk fighting Buu, but Bobbity's ship being destroyed catches their attention. Vegeta would arrive, staring down Buu. He couldn't sense Gohan anymore, and Piccolo was barely alive. Was this his fault? Kakarot, deal with the wizard. I'll handle Buu. Goku wasn't really happy with that outcome, but Vegeta was the stronger of them right now, even if it was because of Bobbity's magic.
Wait, you really don't want to do that. I'm the only one that can steal him away if he goes out of control. Good to know.
Bobbity felt someone grab him from behind. It was the short one that Deborah had turned to stone earlier. He'd forgotten all about him.
Steal him away. Even I could destroy you.
Bobbity struggled to free himself, but he couldn't. He wasn't all that strong physically. Krillin twisted the wizard's arm, causing him to yelp in pain. He was about to concede and just seal Buu away, but Krillin hadn't counted on one thing. Bobbity may be willing to do as he said, but Buu isn't, and Buu doesn't even like Bobbity anyway. So Buu simply lifted one hand, blasting both Krillin and the wizard to dust. This enraged Goku, who powered up to Super Saiyan 2, before rushing forward and slamming his fist into Buu's face. Now, Goku doesn't have Super Saiyan 3 here, since he didn't die, he never learned in another world. Vegeta had been hoping to take Buu on alone, but without another choice, he'd fight alongside Goku, pushing his energy as high as it would go. Initially, the two of them held the advantage, essentially just kicking Buu around. And it made sense, the two of them put together seemed more than a match for the monster. But Buu just didn't seem to be taking any damage. He just got back up and dusted himself off, as if he just tripped and fell. Now, they did their best, fought the good fight, but they began to falter. Simply put, they weren't strong enough to finish him off, and they got tired long before he did. Tarble, who had just found the 4-star ball, decided to weigh his options. He could sense Goku and Vegeta's energy fading by the second, but if he found the balls, he could just ask the dragon to restore them to full strength if he found them in time. Eventually, he'd decide to go and assist them, or at the very least help them get away so they could regroup. Just as he was about to finish the duo, he was sent flying by an energy blast from Tarble.
I thought I told you to keep the others safe.
Vegeta seemed more frustrated than relieved to see him. They are safe. Bulma told me to gather the Dragon Balls and wish back Kibito.
Well, you'll need to add Gohan to that list, and soon we'll have to go to New Namek to bring back Krillin.
Vegeta scoffed before looking off in the direction of Buu.
Kakarot, take over for Tarble. Go find the Dragon Balls. Right now, Tarble is in better fighting shape than you are.
What about you? In theory, Goku didn't disagree, but Vegeta wasn't in any better condition than he was.
Buu being revived in the first place is my fault, so I can't turn my back on this fight. But I promise to retreat if my life is in danger.
Tarble handed the 3 balls he'd collected so far to Goku, as well as the Dragon Radar, before Goku took off in the opposite direction. Now, the two brothers just had to wait for Buu. That blast wasn't going to keep him away for very long. Vegeta knew this could be his last chance to talk to Tarble, so he had some stuff he had to get off his chest.
I am sorry I never tried to patch things up with you, but you didn't try to reach out to me either.
Can't argue with you there.
If we survive this, how about we try to talk things out, as brothers?
Yeah, I'd like that.
Good. We'll fight him together, okay, brother?
Yeah, Tarble was cut off as Vegeta sucker punched him, rendering him unconscious.
Sorry, but I have to do this alone.
As Tarble fell to the ground, Boo landed in front of the brothers.
Listen up, you big pink idiot. I'll give you all the entertainment you want, but in return I want your word. Promise me you won't hurt my brother.
What promise? I don't know what voice to give to Boo.
A promise is an agreement you absolutely cannot break.
Vegeta knew he didn't have much room to negotiate, so he just hoped Boo would agree.
Okay, Boo promise.
With that, Vegeta would power up, rushing forward and punching Boo in the stomach, throwing him backwards. As he fought, he led Boo away from Tarble so he'd be out of the blast radius. He understood that he couldn't kill Boo through conventional means. His only option was to blow him to pieces, even if he had to blow himself up along with him. Vegeta thought of Bulma and Trunks, Tarble and Kyo, and yes, even Goku, before exploding in a brilliant flash of light in one last desperate attempt to defeat Majin Buu. And that seems like a good place to stop. So Tarble being here has actually kinda made things worse. Goku doesn't know the Fusion Dance or Super Saiyan 3, but can the group hold out without those? Find out next time. Leave a comment and let me know what you think, or just say hi, anything's fine. Maybe consider subscribing if you want to, but no pressure. Anyway, that's all from me. Take care.